past few years, collective research has debunked the popular myths that a high-fiber diet lifestyle can cause unfinished housework, late dinners, and neglected family members. In fact, continuing studies show that a high-fiber diet lifestyle may significantly improve the disposition of a crafter, creating a more contented home life. Furthermore, continued exposure can develop an ability to endure meetings, waiting rooms, school functions, and sporting events without experiencing the kind of boredom it makes one want to consume lead paint. Here are just a few ways one can properly increase daily fiber intake. Visit your local yarn store or shop online. Join online fiber communities. Tour sheep or alpaca farms. Attend fiber festivals. Or listen to the High Fiber Diet podcast. Please remember to spread your fiber intake throughout the day rather than trying to get it all in one shot. Stretching and resting is important, and your body will thank you.
Hi, this is Kagi, and welcome to the High Fiber Diet. It's been a minute since I've been with you, but hey, I'm back. I come to you as I can. It depends on work and life and everything else that gets in the way. You guys all know how that goes. I am recording a podcast that is about knitting, spinning, crochet, fiber arts, and all the fibery fun that you get with yarn. If that's not your jam, I get it. Talk to you later. If you're new here, it might be your cup of tea, I might not. I'm good with that. And if you're returning, welcome back. Hey, good to see you. So I normally start off with my finished objects, go into whips, and then any acquisitions or special gadgets or anything like that that I'm working on. And then I might do a little bit of life at the end. Just depends on how long it goes. My first finished object I gave away yesterday at a baby shower. One of our doctors is having a baby. So I made the, I believe it's the Meraki. Booties. Of course, I just knocked that off, right? So there's the little booties. I made them out of lamb's pride worsted. It's a wool and mohair blend. I did get the little bottoms to them. You can find out all the information on my Instagram. I'm Coggie, COGGIE _TM over on Instagram. This says Dad's Little Dude, and they are adorable. I have another set of bottoms, and I was going to start that yesterday, but the yarn that I chose was a little bit too big. So instead of going with the 3-month that I did for these that were given away, I decided to go with a 3 to 6 month. And they're a little bit bigger. And I did the regular bottom on the pattern instead of having to have the leather. And these come up, good catch. They come up with a high top if you don't fold them down. They're like an Ugg boot. And they have a nice bottom on them. Of course, 3-month-olds, 4-month-olds are not walking. It's just there to go over their onesie that have their little feet kicking. And to me, these look like little duck feet. So they are adorable. Did I make them matchy-matchy? No. Did I get them as close as I could? Yes. So that's the bottoms of them. I think they're really cute. So I've made 2 pairs of those. This pair I made out of Woolies Thick and Quick stripes, and I have 2 skeins of this left. I may make up a little sweater to go with it for a gift. We have a lot of people at work right now that are baking babies. So as they bake, I knit. I'm not baking babies anymore. No, I am way past that stage. So on top of that, I have a couple of my own recipe socks. These are DK socks. I haven't woven in the ends on one of them. This is out of the Love Bumblebees in Opal. And I found that I have a whole nother skein of it. So I don't know, I may have enough to do a baby surprise jacket out of this that's left over. I don't see myself having 2 pairs of socks out of this. So this pair of socks is my standard recipe for myself, and my recipe for heavy sport DK weight, because this isn't quite a DK weight in the opal, it's more like a heavy sport. And my recipe is on size 3 needles. I cast on 48 stitches top down, so I will cast on over 2 needles, and then I will work 12 rows of ribbing, longer if you wish. Then I switch to stockinette, straight stockinette for about 6 inches, about. I'm not super on that. I do 24 rows of a slip stitch heel. I do a standard heel turn. Come down on this one, I did the gussets at the bottom instead of the top. I'll show the top on the other. And no, I won't. The other pair I did are an afterthought. But then I do 55 rows from where the end of the slip stitch, not where the gusset is, but where the end of the slip stitch is, 55 rows down to the toe. Begin the toe decreases. I do every other row for the first 4, and then the rest of the decreases I do every row to give a more rounded toe, and then I do a Kitchener at the tip. I don't have a pattern written. That's just what I do. It's my own recipe. If it fits you, it fits you. But both of them are done except for weaving in that top end, and I have a pair of socks. I have another pair of socks, and they're not going to fit this sock blocker. They're a little bit big. They're for Sarge, and he wanted slipper socks. So these are, again, the sport weight opal. I think it's a heavy sport light DK. He has a much bigger foot. He wears a 14. I wear a women's 10. So as you can see, this will hang off the end about an inch at the end. Because a size 14 sock, a women's size 10, I think, is 9 3/4 inches from heel to where you're going to begin your toes. For a man's, it's just under 13 inches for a size 14 shoe, I think. The 12, 13, 14, 15 go very quickly in increases, but it's the comfort. So this one I did as just a tube, and I did the tube down. They don't match. I'm good with fraternal socks, so is he. I did an afterthought heel to cut in where his heel would be, and that way I could measure right down from his ankle knot, that bone. I go straight down from that, and I decide that's how much it's going to be, because I know from where his ankle bone is back, it's about the same as what a heel shaping is going to be. And so I have a second sock finished. I am aiming for 12 pairs of socks this year, but I am really not, I don't make goals. I don't make have-tos. Sorry, I just hit my monitor, my camera. But the more parameters I put on my knitting or my spinning or anything else, the less I want to do it. It's more for me, don't tell me what to do. I'll do my own thing. And it's that snotty, I'm the youngest, don't tell me what to do. The rules were made not to apply to me kind of thing. I don't like rules. And that's why I end up not joining a lot of knit-alongs or spin-alongs or things like that. There's just too many rules, and yeah, I don't want to do it. So you do you. That's just my personality. I think that's why when I promise somebody that I'm going to knit with them, I kind of go, nah, not anymore. I don't want to. So what do I have going? It is Tour de Fleece, so I'm going to start with that. I have 2 that I have spun now. These are Rambouillet. I met a sheep in South Dakota and got a whole bunch of fleece. And if you haven't seen that story, it's in a past podcast. But I am now spinning up some of that fleece. I think I have 17 pounds worth of fleece that I still need to spin. So yeah, I have a lot. I got a lot of fleece. I am going to make, along with, let's see if I can get this without knocking the rest that's down here over. In this box, USPS box, reusing it. I have some orchid, some sunset, and then I have 4 skeins of a pink. I think these are all BFL or Rambouillet. I think. But along with this oatmeal, I'm going to do this sweater. This is the Simply Me blouse by Norgon. I don't think it's Noragon. I think it's Norgard. Norgard Knitters. I don't know. It has a really cool back pleat in it. And I think it would be really nice with a pair of slacks as a late fall winter sweater. And so I'm going to do that up with my hand spun. I have 528 yards I still need to spin. I have a bobbin going, and I should get that finished up. Tour de Fleece finishes up on Sunday, and it is my goal. See, maybe it has been so hard for me to sit down and spin this just because I know I have to, and I hate having appointment knitting and appointment projects, my spinning, everything else. I'll get to it when I get to it. So that is my first ongoing. My second ongoing is, again, another pair of socks. I have knit up 1. These are for me. Again, this is opal. I'm trying to get through my heavyweight opal socks. Again, normal top down that I talked about, my normal pattern. This one has the gusset at the top instead of on the bottom like the other one had. I have 1 done, and I am Team DPN. I'm about that far into the other. They're not matching. I don't think I very rarely match my opal socks because I'm not going to pull out and waste that. Very fraternal. I'm okay with that. This is a pair called, I think it has to do with bears. Cuddle. Yeah, Bear Couple is the name of this opal. It fell apart in my bag, and so I had to reskein it up with the skein winder. But this is the opal Bear Couple blend, and I think it's cute. That is being held in my bag that my bestie sent to me, my person. She took some of the drying mats. She asked me to go to the dollar store and find her drying mats. So I did. And they had different things on them. Some had turtles, some had fish, some had just different things. This one, of course, is fruit. And she made me up 2 bags. I have this one and I have a box bag, and I adore it. I absolutely adore it. And so that is the next project I have. She is so talented. I don't sew that much. The next project on my needles is, okay, I have to look up the name of this because I always say it wrong. And of course it's not right here. There it is, Stella Alpina. And it will end up looking something like this. And I wanted it in white. I am doing this in Kobu. Again, why I don't follow rules. You weren't supposed to start till a certain date for a make-along, and I wanted to start it earlier. But here's the back of it. This is where I am. I'm almost to the point. I think I have 3 more rounds, and I will separate for the sleeves. And so it's a wider neckline. I'm really liking it. This is held in a bag that is no longer available for purchase. It is the Behold My Field bag, and I adore it. In this bag by Jessalou Bags. It's a big sweater quantity bag, and it will become a sweater. I have by Granny Squares by Red Heart. Yes, I'm making another one. I am on my 3rd. I am using a 5.5 hook. And this is how they are coming out. I am very much enjoying it when I have a chance to sit down and crochet. That just caught my... I'll sew in all the ends before I weave them together. I did decide to get black instead of a green. It just didn't... When I put it up next to it, it just wasn't the right shade of green. So I'm going to edge and do the knitting of this sweater in black. And as this grows, more yarn will come into this bag and it will fit it. No pattern, just knitting, or crocheting with knitting, should I say. Then I started... Blocked Magazine is doing their Make Orange Great Again. I think that's what it is. MCAL. I'm actually kind of following that one. And what is the name of this? It's something blooms. Something in blooms. Maybe it's in my note shelf. It takes a second. It is Early Bloomer. Early Bloomer is what I am doing. This is by Heidi Kiermaier. But I am doing this out of a variegated yarn and a plain yarn. The plain yarn is from Malabrigo. It is Caprino and Sunset, DK, 80% superfine merino, 20% cashmere. And I had 5 skeins, I believe. Yeah, I'm on my second. I'm working on my second one. And I am doing it out of, why can I not think of their name? It's right here. Arcane Fiberworks in their DK, which is also a cashmere blend. And this is Easy Breezy Beautiful Cover Squirrel. And that is what it looks like. And coming together, some of them, I wanted a really soft color work, not something that's going to go wabam. And I think I am getting that. So you can still see the flowers, but it's very tapestry-like. Instead of hi wabam, I have a flower. And I don't know if I'm going to do all 3 parts. I might just do 2 and then do the increases on the 3rd. That way all of the color work stays above my widest points. And this will be a tee instead of a long sleeve. I'm really liking the colors of this. My floats are in there. You can see where I started, but I don't catch floats unless it's longer than 7. So this is being carried around in my sheepy bag by Aran Ball. Yep, Aran Ball. So that is going. I'm doing that on size 6 needles, so it's taking a little bit. I normally knit on much bigger, but I think it only called for a 4, and I'm having to knit it on a 6. I am a tight knitter. That's pretty standard for me. Then I have a pair of socks going in a DK weight. I like DK socks. I have regular socks going too. I just haven't worked on them lately. And this, I believe, is a Emma's yarn, and I think the colorway is Ocean. But I am doing just a small pattern sock, nothing major. I'm not even sure there aren't a ton of mistakes in there. It's just knits and purls. And so it's my typical how many and how many. So I'm going down to the toe right now. Size 3 needles, but I decided to throw in a little bit of a pattern on these. And I haven't finished the first one, so it's still going. And this is in a bag I got in an advent. Let's see, looking down here, I think that is everything I have worked on so far this month. A few acquisitions. I did pick up some bamboo pop. I'm going to do I have 5 of them. I'm going to do up a top in this one of these days. I just haven't decided which top. I still have the remix here that I've talked about in the past. I've kind of changed my mind on the pattern that I'm going to do on it. So I have it out for inspiration and for me to say, yeah, I need to figure out what to do with it. They're very close in color, but this is more of a turquoise. That's more of a teal. It leans there. I also picked up Emma's yarn in the colorway Calypso. And these are very beachy, and I think I'm going to do a pair of beachy socks out of this. And so this one, I've been looking, I think there's a pattern out there called Trinket. Barocco, did Barocco or Universal? One of the two put it up. And I may do that or some other lacy, beachy kind of wear, where it'll be in the top where the foot's solid. but that will be going on. Along with Tour de Fleece this year, I have been watching a few of the videos that I have. I know a lot of people don't have DVDs anymore. I'm old school. I still have my DVDs and I still use them. Yes, I have streaming services, but you can't get certain things like this on streaming services anymore because Interweave is no longer there. So this is Sarah Anderson, Make the Yarn You Want, Building Blocks of Spinning, and I have watched this now twice. It is a 2 DVD. In fact, I have the first DVD in the machine and then the second one here. But it really got me into thinking intentionally for spinning because, and I do have the DVD also of intentional spinning, but this one more, it just worked for me. I have, I want to say I have 10 or 12 different spinning and knitting DVDs. And so this is the one I pulled out and the one that I've been watching and trying to input into my brain while I've been spinning these last couple of weeks. And I've been enjoying that. I have also gotten back into reading on my Kindle, and I have picked up a bunch of books by, oh, who is it? Let me look. There's been Meredith Summers, Hope Callaghan, just quite a few of those that have, they're on the free part of Kindle where you can just grab them, and Kindle Unlimited, I guess it's not free, you pay for it, but yeah. I've been reading those, the Easton Island, the Wynn Harbor Inn, based in Michigan. It's been fun. I've also read the Destin Diaries. Who is that by? I listened to one on Audible, and then the rest were I did on Kindle, and it's these friends that have a beach house in Florida and the history behind it going back to when they were 15 and the diaries that they wrote and how they are now, and a lot of late in life, second love kind of thing. Not super sexy or raunchy or anything like that, just good beach reads. And I've kind of gotten into that. This season right now, Judith Kilm, Lee Duncan, who else have I been reading? I read and completed the complete Cheryl and Kenyon series of The Dark Hunter, moving into the Chronicles of Nick, and moving on to the next set now. Just finished See Me. I've just been on a reading kick, and some of it by Audible, but most of it by Kindle. And so when I'm reading, I do set up the Kindle and I'll knit or I'll spin and have the Kindle sitting close enough that I can read it, but far enough away that I have to have big print to read. And it's just been comfortable. And that's in between, of course, work and husband and life and family. The grandkids did go to a beach vault, and I'll see if I can put a picture of them after their beach vault. I didn't get a lot of pictures of them actually vaulting, but I got a picture of them after they vaulted and they decided to relax their muscles in the lake, and so they're in the lake with their poles, and so that was kind of cool. It's a cute little picture. My granddaughter's teammate is there with her, and then my grandson, and I'll see about putting the picture in. And then Sarge and I decided to go up north, and we went. It was the first time crossing the Mackinac Bridge for me. He's been across it with the military, but never just for fun. And we had a lot of fun. I don't know if I'll be able to put in a video, but I will try at the end. We had one where we were under the Mackinac Bridge, and that was pretty cool. It was just beautiful up there, and just getting away. When you get away, you need to be away at least 3 days from work in order to have your brain off work. And I didn't quite get that because of the position I'm in. They're still contacting me, but it was enough that I felt very relaxed coming home. And then, of course, we had the 4th and the fun there, and then the beach vault after that. So lots of grands time, lots of fun time, and just loving the summer right now. Right today it's really warm, and we were supposed to go to a rodeo. I don't know if we're going to. That just depends. We hadn't bought tickets, so it isn't something we're missing out on. But I do have concert tickets coming up next month. I'm going to try and make it to the Michigan Fiber Fest. I also want to make it to Northern Michigan Fiber Festival this year in September. So kind of playing everything by ear, and what's going on and how we can get there. But I think that's it for me. Until next time, check your checkbook before starting the high fiber diet, and like and subscribe if you like it. Thank you. Bye-bye.
The stump was roasted by local press, which declared the incident